having this man call in because I adore him and I've been a longtime friend of him. He's also much cheaper than seeing a psychiatrist. The host of the Michael Kay Show locally in New York City, which is the #1 rated sports talk show in that great city. And also the longtime voice of the New York Yankees and a longtime friend, Michael Kay, here on the Rich Eisen Show. Michael, help me, please.
Well, the fees have gone up, Rich.
Wow, I did not know that. I like your ratings. So it matches your ratings? Is that what you're saying? Is that how it works?
I just think, postseason, bigger problems, bigger price.
Okay.
Seems fair.
Oh, what do we start with first? I didn't even bring up the fact that you talked to James Dolan, and by proxy that just pisses me off.
That was such a long time ago.
You know what? You're the only one you let talk to him, So, I mean, and you hold him to account, God bless you. So, all right, let's go with the Yankees first here. All right. A major conundrum on their hands. It looks like the Rays are a better team, Michael. Is that a fair assessment to say?
The Yankees have more talent. The Rays might be a better team. I think this thing all unraveled, and it's not over yet, but it all unraveled when they just got too cute by a half. With the stunt they pulled in Game 2. You don't need to do that. You just don't. The Rays have done the opener situation because they don't have enough starters. I mean, either the Yankees don't like their starters or don't trust them, but they have starters. So I didn't understand that. Paul O'Neill on the Yes Post game yesterday actually said that move might have unsettled the entire roster, where why do we have to do this against this team? We just destroyed them in Game 1. We destroyed 2 really good Indian pitchers in the first 2 games of the playoffs. What are we doing this for? And yesterday might have been a hangover from Game 2. So I said after Game 2 that if they end up losing the series, that will be the reason why. That everything just unspooled after that.
So I don't know. I added you on Twitter, and you're a busy man. I don't know if you saw my take on it, that it was anti-Yankee. The Yankees don't do openers. The Yankees take your starter, pay him $200 million to be their number 2 starter in the playoffs. That's what the Yankees do. And
I did see that, and I said this on my radio show, which is almost along the same lines.
Yes, sir.
Game 2 happens.
Yes.
And they essentially... It would be like Mike Tyson climbing into the ring against Pee Wee Herman. And then, just as the fight's about to start, he goes, wait a minute. We have to play Jeopardy. We're not fighting. Let's play Jeopardy.
Yes.
Why would you do that? Why do you need to do that? And this is not disrespect to the Tampa Bay Rays because, as you said, they're a very, very good team. But the Yankees are a fully operational Death Star, according to Brian Cashman, and you have to play cute games with Davey Garcia and Jay Happ. And the best thing that came out of that was a story in the Times by Tyler Kepner, and he dug up a quote from Chaim Bloom, who used to be a member of the Tampa Bay Rays staff, and he said the only way the opener works is if you get everybody to buy in completely. If they don't buy in, then it mitigates whatever advantage you might have. Well, it's clear. Jay Happ didn't buy in. Yeah, he did it, but he told them he didn't want to do it. So if Jay Happ, the 37-year-old, doesn't buy in, why are you doing it?
So why did they do it?
I think they got too cute by a half, and the juice wasn't worth the squeeze to me. I think, first of all, Davey Garcia could have given you 4 or 5 innings. I believe that Jay Happ could have given you a representative outing. I think the reason they did it was they felt, let's start Davey Garcia against a team that became the first team ever at the end of the year to start 9 lefties in the lineup. Let's get them to do that, and then we'll bring in Happ, and we'll force them to flip the lineup. But again, you're not dealing with dunces. You can't be the smartest guy in the room when Albert Einstein's in the corner sipping a daiquiri. You just can't. This is a really smart organization. So they read through what was happening. They never flipped their lineup, and moving to Happ actually burned them because you turned the catcher into a power hitter, and then Manuel Margot later on also hit a home run off a Happ. Everything that could have gone wrong with that maneuver went wrong.
Michael Kay here on the Rich Eisen Show, and you have also interviewed Larry David, like we have here on this show, so you know the concept of when you say with all due respect, that does allow you to say something thoroughly disrespectful after that. You called the Rays, you basically called them the Pee Wee Hermans of baseball, but then said with all due respect after that. That's not going to fly, Michael. You need to say it first. and then call the Rays the Pee Wee Hermans of baseball. That's
I like to do things a little bit
Understood.
different.
Understood.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm about.
So does that make a Rosarena the Paul Rubens view of this Pee Wee Herman equation? Because this guy, he's
but
he's
after
a step
the
up.
theater incident.
I mean, this guy. You know what? If this was old school baseball, would this guy already have one in the chops right now? I mean, it's unbelievable what this kid is amazing. He is on fire right now.
And when you see what he's done, and then Luke Voigt led the majors in home runs,
right.
And the Cardinals are a little short on offense, you wonder, an organization that usually makes pretty good decisions, all due respect, did not make good decisions with these two.
Very good. Michael K., you definitely know how to workshop and step up your game. There's no doubt about that. All right, so I guess moving on then, the Jets are, as you know, my favorite team growing up, and I do talk about it here quite a bit, not just because of the name of the show, but what's happening there to me is a national story, because if they wind up being first overall, there is going to be, and man, they're earning it, and I don't know if Flacco is going to start finding people in a more efficient way than Darnold had been in the last 4 games, and that Greg 3G Williams is going to have his guys, let's just say cut the personal foul penalties in half. Let's just even go that. And that it's going to work out well against Kyler Murray and Arizona. You see Arizona right in front of you this weekend. And they took a guy from the Pac-12, as we know, and they said he's our future. And then they got the first overall pick and spiked the whole plan. Do you think the Jets would do such a thing? And I know we're way ahead of the story, but the Jets look terrible. Michael, what's the talk in New York about on this front?
Everybody that we've had on my radio show said they have to take Trevor Lawrence, including Mike Tannenbaum. And Tannenbaum's a fan of Darnold. So I also believe if this guy is as good as they say, and everybody that we've spoken to uses the same comparison, the best quarterback to come out of college since Andrew Luck. So if he is in fact that, Sam has not shown enough over the 2+ years to tell you that he is definitely the guy. Now, he has not been, quote-unquote, raised the right way. He has not been surrounded with the right people. But if Lawrence is all that, I think you've got to do that, and I'm sure you'll find some takers for Sam Darnold. You're not going to get back what was essentially the 3rd pick in the draft for him, but you can cut your losses a bit. Now, if you want to go around building the other way, then I guess you could get a Herschel Walker sort of deal for the number 1 pick, and the Jets certainly have a lot of holes. But Sam has to prove a lot more by that point. And, if they have the worst pick in the draft, then he didn't prove much. But my question to you, Rich Eisen,
yes,
big
sir.
Jet fan.
Yes, sir.
What happens if Joe Flacco has a great game and they actually win this week?
Now, when you say this, are we talking planet Earth or what other place are we talking about?
We're firmly on planet Earth. So he has a really good game and they win. And then Sam's shoulder is better and ready to go. Adam Gase is on a week-by-week job security tour. Does he keep playing Joe Flacco?
Is Chandler Jones playing this weekend, Michael? And Mekhi Becton's not even practicing. Please. The way that I saw, if the team that I've been seeing play, the one that showed up in Indianapolis, the one that on a short week watched Brett Rippon do his thing, and then when he couldn't do his thing, the Jets bailed him out with 6 personal foul penalties. I cannot imagine that Joe Flacco is able to find a Jamison Crowder when everybody else knows that's who he's going to be looking for. It strains the possibility here, but we could play the game.
You're saying you don't want to play the home version of the hypothetical.
No, I will play the home version. I will do that. I will play this with you. Whatever the Jets need to do to get that first overall selection, they have to do. And it kills me to say that because the times that I have met Sam Darnold, to call him a dream come true and a face of a franchise is an understatement.
He's great.
He is beyond great. He so deserves better than a team that changes coaches up and then has that coach swallow the free agency signing of Le'Veon Bell, only to have the general manager who makes that decision conduct a draft, then get fired, then have the coach handle matters until the general manager is hired, and then that general manager waits another full calendar year to jettison the best defensive player that they have prior to a COVID season in which their second best defensive player in Mosley opts out. and you trade them away for draft choices, leaving the evaluation of the quarterback, which is the most important thing, completely wide open to the injury bug, which has bitten them. So putting it all together, I think this is a total mess that deserves whatever needs to happen to turn this into Rich Kotite on steroids. And if that means the Jets lose all 16, it'll be tough. But they've got to do it, whatever they have to do. How does that sound?
It sounds great. It sounds like the football version of Phil Jackson selecting Frank Ntilikina and then getting fired a couple of days later.
Now, was that in Dolan's talking points binder that he brought to the set with you when you interviewed him, Michael?
I believe it was.
Was that in there?
Was that before the Phil Jackson firing or the? I think it might have been. I think it was in his talking points.
It all bleeds together. What is it like having the most hated man in New York stroll into your studio with a binder that says talking points on it, Michael? What would you think when you saw that interviewing Dolan a couple years ago?
I've got to tell you, Rich, and I don't think this is what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I have actually spent time around him off the air.
Yes.
He's kind of like a decent dude.
Well, I'm not. This is no. I don't say he's a horrible human other than the way that he does act. But other than that, I mean, oh boy, really?
He's got really good. I mean, at that time, he had a really great person that was like running interference with the media. And I looked at the guy, and why are you letting him? First of all, does he know this is on camera? People are going to see that. You know, it just didn't make a lot of sense. But again, he got the points out that he wanted to get out. But I don't think that they really helped him. They didn't serve the purpose.
Well, look, in the few minutes I have left with you, Michael, we've got Jon Bon Jovi on in the third hour. Where does he rank for you? Being from the New York metropolitan area, where is he?
Well, he was on center stage. He's one of the top center stage guests.
Fantastic.
He's one of the nicest people. Can I tell you a quick story?
Please.
We had him on center stage, right?
Yep.
And he was great. And then they started the Arena Football League, which he had on the Philadelphia Soul.
Right, yes.
And they had a big reveal at a Manhattan club. So me and the guys from the show, this is like 2 years after we had him on center stage. And I'd never had contact with him after that. And we all went to the thing just to get free food. And they all bet me $10 that he would not know who I was.
Okay.
And I said, well, all right. I don't think he will, but, you know, I'll bet the $10.
There you go.
And we're just standing there in the hall, and he's walking around, like, greeting people. And he comes by and goes, Mike, how you doing, bud? He goes, boy, people love that center stage that we did. That's the kind of guy Jon Bon Jovi is.
Now, that you have to collect double for that. Not only did he know who you were, he referenced exactly how he knew you, and the reaction he gives you what you want, which is not only recognition, but to hear how good of a time that he had. You've got to collect double or triple from that.
The only other guest who did that, well, Larry David and I have become kind of friendly.
Yes.
But the only other guest who did that after a long period of time of not seeing him was Snoop Dogg. 5 years after he was on center stage, he's walking by with his group of friends at a Super Bowl party, and he stops. He goes, this dude did the best interview with me I've ever had in my life. I can't imitate Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
That Snoop Dogg was the only other guy. So Snoop Dogg and Jon Bon Jovi.
I don't mean to burst your bubble, Michael, but he told me the same thing after the Super Bowl. I'm sorry to say.
Really? Well, maybe it was
didn't.
after a little Boubange. I'm not sure.
One of the many reasons why I love you, Michael K. Best to your family and your beautiful family that I see on occasion on your social media. And let's chat soon. Congrats.
And same to your family, too. Great to talk with you.
Right back
Stay
at
safe.
you. Congrats on everything with you, sir. That's Michael K., who I have known forever and a day. Right here on The Rich Eisen Show.